Max Holloway versus Anthony Pettis, or should I say Anthony Pettis versus Max Holloway. This is at 145 pounds. Anthony Pettis at 145 pounds. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this, on what I think is going to happen with this fight. And then you guys can comment, let me know what you think. First of all, nobody knows what's going to happen. It's pretty much impossible to predict what's going to happen when you're putting fighters against fighters in different weight classes that haven't fought anybody in the other weight class. You have no way to measure up the two, except some of these guys have fought at 155 that are fighting at 145. So it kind of does tell us, what's going on. However, it was a while ago, and Max Holloway is only 24 years old. Currently, he's 24 years old. And he's on a 9-fight win streak. So, in other words, Max Holloway at 22, is he better at 24 than at 22? Yeah, I would think he would be. But, and what I'm getting at is, yes, Conor McGregor. I want to talk about Conor McGregor, because Conor McGregor pretty much cleaned out the 145-pound division. Now you got Anthony Pettis in the 145-pound division. Could Conor McGregor beat Anthony Pettis at 145? I don't know. Nobody knows, and nobody really cares, apparently, because Conor's probably not going to be fighting at 145. But we are going to talk about Conor McGregor because he's the last person that beat Max Holloway. Now here's the strange thing when breaking down this fight. First off, just to make a long story short, I think Anthony Pettis is going to beat Max Holloway at 145. Should Anthony Pettis be fighting at 145? Absolutely not. When I seen him cutting weight, I didn't even recognize him. I seen they were talking Anthony Pettis in a video, and I didn't even know it was Anthony Pettis. He looks terrible. He should not be cutting that much weight. I don't know what he's doing to cut that much weight, but I don't want to see that. You can't even recognize the guy. He looked good in his fight when he fought at 145. But he should. It's Anthony Pettis, man. It's Anthony Pettis. This guy, he had some tough losses. He had some tough losses at 155. Is that because of the more stringent drug testing? I don't know. Maybe. Or it just, sometimes things just don't go your way. And sometimes you just get schooled, and Anthony Pettis was pretty much getting schooled, and he had to do something. But fighting at 145, is that the answer for him? Well, the 145 division's pretty weak. And the reason I say it's pretty weak is, you look at, compared to 155, talent-wise, as far as difficulty-wise, it's, if they took 145 division and 155 division and made it a 150-pound division and had all those guys fight in one division, all the guys that would be dominant in the 150-pound division would be guys that are at 155. I could confidently say that. Would Max Holloway be dominant at 150 with all those guys blended in? No, I don't think so. And the reason is, when Conor McGregor beat Max Holloway, yes, that was 9 fights ago for him, but he's been very busy. He's been fighting. And he does have some impressive wins. But the problem is, when he fought Conor McGregor made Max Holloway look like a 12-year-old boy. It looked like he was fighting a little kid. It was nowhere. He had absolutely nothing for Conor. His punches were going to have no effect on Conor. Skill-wise, he was completely outskilled, completely outclassed, completely outstrength. He had nothing. He literally had nothing for Conor McGregor. There's nothing he could have done to win that fight. He could have swung with all his might and hit Conor in the chin and would have knocked him out. Could he have submitted him? No, he couldn't have, because he had nothing. He just didn't. Didn't have any strength compared to Conor McGregor. It was really bizarre, because Now, has he gotten better? Well, yeah, I guess I'm sure he has, but man, he was completely outclassed. So you take somebody like Anthony Pettis, who has wins over guys that I believe would beat Conor McGregor. I understand he's going to be weaker, he's going to be dieting down, but man, I do not see Max Holloway beating Anthony Pettis. This is a really big fight for both these guys, though. That's why I'm making a video. This is a really, really important fight, because if Anthony Pettis does not beat Max Holloway, it's like, where's he going to go with his career? You know, I mean, is he going to continue to have fights? Yeah, but you know, he's dropping down to 145 so he could be the champ, so he could win and pretty much clean these guys out, which I do think that's what's going to happen. You know, so anyway, it's like we're talking Max Holloway. Yeah, he's on a 9-fight win streak, but against who? Who has he beat? Well, he did beat Cub Swanson. That's pretty impressive. And who else did he beat? He beat somebody else that's good. I'm drawing a blank, but he beat Cub Swanson. That's impressive to me. And oh yeah, he just recently, a couple fights ago, beat Jeremy Stevens, who was like running his mouth saying he could beat Conor McGregor. I mean, are these people? What is with these people? I think they're just desperate for attention, because you just got beat by Max Holloway, and Max Holloway had absolutely nothing for Conor McGregor. So everybody thinks I hate Conor McGregor, but I mean, I'm speaking very highly of Conor McGregor in the 145-pound division. He pretty much cleaned these guys out. These guys didn't have any chance of beating him. You know, with Conor is not going to clean out the 155-pound division, I believe. I'm only bringing it up because people like to hear about it, but you know, Conor is not going to beat Eddie Alvarez. Conor wouldn't beat Rafael dos Anjos. I think Clay Guida would beat Conor McGregor at 155. Cowboy Cerrone, he's fighting at 170, but he would probably destroy Conor at 155. The reason I say that is because the Nate Diaz fights. Conor lost against Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz, to me, is ranked down. I mean, man, you know, he could beat anybody, but I have him like barely top 10. People get upset when I say that. I am a huge Nate Diaz fan, but what you have to understand is that division is very, very tough. I think Conor knows that too, and that's why he's talking about retirement if he beats with Eddie Alvarez, which he might do. Conor's very capable of beating anybody, but as far as just cleaning these guys out, it's, you know, if you beat one guy, it's only a matter of time before someone's just going to just beat you, because that division is really tough. It's stacked. And when Anthony Pettis beats Max Holloway, now look, that's a tough fight for Anthony Pettis, but I do believe he'll win. And actually, this will tell me a lot if he loses. If Anthony Pettis loses, that's why I'm curious. I'm not even so much saying, oh, he's going to beat him, you know, because I don't know for sure. I have to wait and see. But I'm speculating that Anthony Pettis will beat Max Holloway very easily, which will kind of tell you, you know, if Anthony Pettis comes down to 145 and he's cleaning these guys out at 145, well, he left 155 because he couldn't compete against the very elite guys. So that kind of tells you the difference between the two divisions, which is like, you know, Conor McGregor, super dominant at 145, clean these guys all out. So if Anthony Pettis comes over and he's doing the same thing, well, we've seen Anthony Pettis not being able to compete at 155. We've seen Conor McGregor fighting a 155-pounder, Nate Diaz, and lose. Yeah, he won the second fight, you know, but really didn't look too impressive to me. It was almost like one of those draw kind of fights, and you know. So anyway, I'm bringing up all these people because they fought each other in the past, and when I say Cowboy Cerrone would beat Conor McGregor, everyone's immediately I get emails. Well, Nate Diaz beat Cowboy. Yeah, but Cowboy fought stupid in that fight. Cowboy, that was dumb. Anybody that Nate Diaz has beat is except for Conor McGregor, because what was he really supposed to do? But they fought really stupid. They fought just really foolish, like just standing there, trading punches. Of course, you don't want to go on the ground with Nate. Nate's a tough fight. He is a tough fight. So, I mean, I'm not being disrespectful by saying that he's not top 5, top 6, type 7, top 8. The only reason I'm saying this is because I've seen these guys beat Nate Diaz. I've seen him lose. Like, people get so upset when I say this, but I watched Nate Diaz get taken to school by these guys. I mean, Rafael dos Anjos versus Nate Diaz. I mean, Nate Diaz had no business being in there. It wasn't even close. And Conor lost to him, to Nate. So how do you fathom that he has anything for Rafael dos Anjos? I'm talking about Conor McGregor. That's all I'm saying. And I do, I give Conor a lot of props. But we're just kind of sizing up where all these guys are. And now we're talking Anthony Pettis coming from 155 to 145. If he can continue to make this weight cut and perform like he did and have energy and be able to fight and not be sick or something, coming into the fight because of the weight cut, if he can make the weight cut and still have the nutrition and come back and fight at Anthony Pettis level, he will have no problem cleaning out the 145 division, and he will probably be champion unless Conor McGregor comes back to 145, which may happen. If Conor loses to Eddie Alvarez and Anthony Pettis beats Max Holloway, which I am expecting to see that. Say by then Anthony Pettis has another fight at 145. That is a heck of a fight for the belt. Conor McGregor versus Anthony Pettis. And I kind of think we're going to see something like that. Jose Aldo versus Anthony Pettis. I think Anthony Pettis would beat him. I mean, he's a 155er. He's a 155er. He was a champ at 155. So we'll have to wait and see. Man, if Max Holloway beats Anthony Pettis, I will be very, very impressed. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I'm sorry, I don't. I think this is the way this is going to go, and I think Conor's going to lose against Eddie Alvarez. So I think we may see. This is a really important fight because I do believe we will see an Anthony Pettis versus Conor McGregor at 145. People say Conor ain't coming back to 145. He doesn't want to come back to 145, but if he wants to continue to fight, I think he wants to keep fighting. I don't think he's just going to walk away. And that's a fight that we might see, Anthony Pettis versus Conor McGregor. And I actually do think that is a really, really good fight. That would be one hell of a fight. These are more of the fights that we should be seeing, not Conor at 155 when he hasn't beat all these other guys. That's why people don't like these fighters. Don't like him because he hasn't beat these guys. They know these guys at 155 know they could beat Conor, and he's not having to fight him. All of a sudden, he gets a title shot. And that's why these guys are talking about him. Of course, people talking about him that shouldn't be talking about him because Conor McGregor has beat all these other fools, but. Anyway, Max Holloway, this is a huge fight for him. I mean, I just do not see him beating Anthony Pettis. I'd be curious to see what the betting odds are going to be. And I openly admit that I don't know what's going to happen because, how are we supposed to know what's going to happen? It makes it very tough when you have somebody coming from another division. You don't know, it could possibly be like Anthony Pettis just can't perform because he's sick from the diet, but from the fight that I seen him at 145, he looked good, but does he have the stamina for a longer fight? Because a lot of Max Holloway fights go to decision, so we'll see. But man, I just don't see. Yeah, I don't see Max Holloway being able to brutally we've seen Anthony Pettis lose. Okay, Clay Guida just wrestle him to death, outstrength him. And then we even seen Eddie Alvarez come and kind of do the same type of thing. There's no way that Max Holloway will be able to wrestle and push Anthony Pettis up and get a win, like grind out a win, say grind out a win. There's no way he's going to do that to Anthony Pettis. So you're going to be standing there trading strikes with Anthony Pettis. It's going to be a tough night for you. And that's why, man, I just think he's going to beat him, and we may see Conor versus Anthony Pettis, which is a fight that I'm more interested in seeing. And I'll warm up to the idea. I'm already warmed up to the idea of seeing Anthony Pettis fight at 145 based on he was able to fight and he looked good. But man, when I seen that weight cut, I was like, oh my God, are you serious? But as long as he can do it in a healthy way, he has the right nutritionist and the right supplements, and he can have energy and fight, he's a force to be reckoned with at 145. This is a really, really, really big fight. And I think Anthony Pettis will win. If he cannot be sick from the sickening weight cut. I'll see you guys later.